Guys, listen, I'm honored and humbled to be here, but before I even really close out here on these last topics, I just need to really give it back to Candace. I mean, Candace and her husband Dexter, they have been pioneers in this business, in this area, building a huge, humongous team, and a lot of what you see wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their leadership. And really a lot of the reasons why the company has continued to invest in the New York marketplace and come with unlimited energy is because of tremendous leadership that we have here. So everybody I'm just blown. I want to sign up all over again. Somebody sign me up. So let's give a round of applause for tremendous leadership. And I appreciate all those good things she said about me. Check is in the mail, right? But the reality is that I'm just this young kid that was born and raised in the inner city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Anybody been to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Been here? So I just born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and grew up on public assistance. I know not here in New York, y'all don't know anything about public assistance, but in Philadelphia we know about it. I remember we had this big block cheese. It was like this big. It was versatile. You can eat food with it. It was like a brick. It was like a weapon. You can kill somebody. It was a door stop. But that's a long time ago, right? But my mother said, hey, you want to go to school, get a good education. I went to school, became an electrical engineer, started working in corporate America, was working all these hours. And I'll tell you really quickly what happened is that I was working 50 hours a week as an engineer. I had another 20-hour-a-week job on top of that. And it was natural for me to just fall asleep behind the wheel because I was always exhausted from not sleeping the night before. And so one day it caught up with me. I fell asleep behind the wheel. I woke up, and when I woke up, I was on the shoulder, but I wound up correcting my steering. But when I corrected my steering, it was only like a lane coming this way of cars and just my lane going that way. And so when I corrected my steering, where you're sitting right there, that's where an oncoming car was. Like it was unavoidable. Like I knew I was going to hit that car head on, and there was nothing I could do about it. The car was just sliding. They didn't have enough time to react. I couldn't change the steer. I was going to hit that car. And so when you're faced with your own mortality, right, I wasn't thinking about, I wish I could have had a few more hours for that project I was working on last night, right? You don't even think about your bank account at that point. You don't think about how much money you have to pay. You know what you think about? You think about, have I sang my song? Have I lived my purpose? Have I done the things on this planet that I was sent to do? That's the only thing I thought about. So that accident happened. That lady's car literally flipped over. My car was completely total. Her car was completely total. But by the grace of God, none of us was scratched. But here's what I realized. Except for the airbag, I had a little scratch in my arm. But here's what I realized. I realized at that point the most valuable thing that I had. The most valuable thing that you have is your time. See, you can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money. Yes or yes?
Yes.
But this time that we're spending together, you can never get that again. Am I correct?
Yeah, sure.
Right? So it is the most valuable thing. But how much time, how much is it worth to a man sitting on his deathbed that only has a year left? How much is that year worth for them? Right? How much time is worth for that person that missed the meeting by 5 minutes is going to make them a millionaire? How much is that time worth, right? So if our time is worth so much, why are we trading it in for $5 an hour? $20 an hour, $50. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So to make a long story short, I got involved in HCN. Within 2 years, it was replaced the engineering income. And here we are today, and we now get paid on not 10,000 customers every month, or 20,000 customers every month, or 30,000 customers every month, or 40,000 customers every month. We get paid on close to 70,000 customers every 30 days through HCN. And so we're just really humble because of the tremendous leadership that we found. So I'm going to tell you what has put us in a position to get paid on that many customers in the next couple of minutes. So can you pay close attention to it? Would it be okay if you just get paid on half of that? Would that be all right? All right? So just listen with one ear if you need to, but please listen. You got it? So it all starts with mindset. Here's what my mentor told me. He said, Anwar, when you were called into existence, you were called for a specific purpose and a specific mission that only you can fulfill. Yes or yes? Yes. Right? And so what are the odds that you would be here? Think about the odds of your existence. The odds of your existence actually makes you a miracle. They say, technically, we're all adults here, they say technically, when a man and a woman creates a child, you actually are swimming upstream against about 500 billion U's. Does that make sense? But it wasn't you. So you were the one that actually won the race to fertilize the egg first. But if you would have lost the race, you wouldn't be here. So before you even was called into existence, you was tested to say, are you worthy enough to be born? So you was in a race before you even started. And you hit the egg first. And then every other person becomes food for the one that hits the egg first. You got me? So technically speaking, the odds of you being here is 1 in 40 quadrillion. Look it up. The odds of you winning the lottery is a lot greater than the odds of you being in existence. So you're not called into existence by accident. You're called into existence for a purpose. You were born unique. The problem is most of us die a carbon copy. All right? So just like you, since you were born unique, you have everything it takes to win. You already won. But then we're programmed for failure. We hear no so many times. Is everybody with me? So it's like my computer. I had a computer that was broke, right? And I took it to like the store and like this computer is broke, it's not working. He says nothing wrong with the computer. The hardware is there. The hardware works. He said the software is corrupted. So he wiped the hard drive, reinstalled the software, and the computer worked fine. So you are wired for success, but you've been programmed for failure. So just like my computer, if you want to take what was created for a unique purpose, all you need to do is rewrite the program. I remember when I first saw this business, and I went home and told my mother, I said, oh, Mom, oh my goodness, this is great business. You know, I'm going to become wealthy. Da, da, da. She says it's a scam, it's a scheme, none of those things work. Anybody ever heard that? Yes. Right? And I said, Mom, well, it's my money, and I'm going to do what I want. She said, well, I ain't going to tell you I told you so. And I'm like, you sure won't, because it's going to work for me. Right? And then as I began to learn all the negative thinking that I grew up with, thinking it was normal, like money is the root of all evil. That's a broke mentality. Yes. See, it's the love of money is the root of all evil. Right? Money is the root of all crime. I've never seen somebody wealthy robbing somebody at gunpoint. It's always the broke people that rob. Here's another one I heard. You know, money won't make you happy. Neither will brokenness. I tried the broke part. I mean, if you want to be unhappy, wouldn't you rather be unhappy sipping a martini sitting on a beach somewhere in the world, right? With a whole bunch of cash in your pocket than being unhappy, right? So this was the broke mentality I had to learn. So my mother said, they're brainwashing you. I'm like, hey, they're not brainwashing. Then I thought about it. You know what? My brain has been dirty from all the gook that I've been fed from society that I can't be whatever it is that I aspire to be. So you're right. They cleaning that bad boy up. Is everybody with me? And so the number one step to being successful in business is that you got to go from an employee mentality to an employer mentality. You got to go from the mentality of thinking that you're supposed to be a carbon copy of somebody else, a shadow of what you could be, dying, tiptoeing to your grave, never fulfilled your dream, to the mentality of saying that you were born to win, you already have the victory and it's yours. Is everybody with me? Yes. All right, so let's talk about a couple things when it comes to business. I done messed up already, see? You don't have to be smart to do this business. There we go, look at that. Somebody fixed it that fast. So the first thing you need to do is you got to make a decision. Whether you in or out. Don't get high blood pressure or aneurysm and die over and make a decision. Just decide if you win. Some people are sitting here like $499 is going to break you for life. I mean, really, I'm not belittling $499. I didn't have it, I had to borrow it, right? But really, are you going to say to your kids 10 years from now when they try to go to college, I would send you to college, but 10 years ago I spent $499 to try that ACN thing, and we just don't have it. I mean, is it really going to crush your life? It's not, right? So just make a decision. Don't go back and forth with all of this stuff, okay? Here's the other key thing. You're going to have a learning curve. Are you going to know everything from day one? No. Did you know everything at your job from day one? No. But a couple of weeks later, you train new people. Yes or yes? Yes. Give yourself an opportunity to grow. There's so many people in ACN come up to me, and they've been in the business a whole week. I tried this thing. Oh my God, I tried everybody. I tried everything. I talked to everybody I know. Everybody said no. I said, how many people said no? Well, 2. How many people you got yourself on? 250? Can you imagine this? See, it's not failure. When something doesn't go your way, it's an opportunity to learn. Don't see failure as failure. Failure is not meant to stop you. Failure is meant to grow you. Imagine a child, right? Imagine a child. Because they come out, they can't walk, right? And imagine they keep trying to walk, they keep falling down, like, you know what, you might as well give it up, just call. Wouldn't it be kind of strange? Yeah. Right? See, they fall, they're learning how to walk. So if you're encountering adversity, it's not because it's trying to stop you. It's because it's trying to grow you. Is that all right with me? Yeah. I mean, go to the gym and try to lift a weight. If I can go to the gym, I can lift this all day long. Is my muscle going to get bigger? No. It's only when I encounter a resistance that's beyond what I'm used to handling will a muscle actually grow. Yes. Well, that's psychologically how life is as well. The only time you'll grow mentally is if you encounter a challenge that's bigger than you. Sometimes the challenge that comes bigger than you comes so you can learn how to rely on someone that's bigger than you to get you out of the challenge. So don't fall down, fall up. Is that right with me? Yes. Okay. So learning curve. Get your stuff. Develop the right mental attitude. We talked about that. Professional steward. You don't have to convince anybody to do this business. I actually look forward to people telling me no about this business. The professional steward, amateurs convince. So don't be an amateur and convince somebody, just steward. You want to make more money? No. Okay, great. You want to make more money? Yes. Fantastic. Work with the people who want to make it happen. Does that make sense? Right. I need somebody to take out my garbage. Does that make sense? I need somebody. When I go to a restaurant, I need somebody to wait on me. Does that make sense? Right? I'm okay with you not wanting to do the business. Right. All right? That's all right. All right? All right. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Is everybody going to become your customer? No. Will some people become your customer? Yes. Will everybody get involved in the business? No. Will some people get involved in the business? Yes. So why are you getting all caught up on it? There's 300 million people in America. And they make new ones every day. And so if somebody doesn't see it, somebody will eventually see it. Now, right now, we have a little bit under 10,000 people, IBOs in our organization. Right? Do you know how many of those people I knew before ACN? 2. You know what I told my friends? You have a right to remain broke. It's okay. I met new friends that wanted to make money. Now, I still hang out with my old friends, and they don't have any problem with me picking up the check either. But I don't have to get all tied up about them trying to change their life. Change your life. Does that make sense? Yes. And you will attract the right people to you. All right? So don't get caught up. Some will, some won't next. That's it, right? Have long-term thinking. I love this. This is why I got involved in business, right? Because I had long-term thinking. I went to school for electrical engineering. Do y'all know how hard that is? Here's my engineers in here, right? We went to, when you start taking math, they're so advanced it becomes a theory. I'm like, the reason why I love math is because it's concrete. You start to get into high levels of math, it's just a theory. And right? Unbelievable. Calculus is the beginning of the engineer. That's semester 1, freshman year, right? By the time you get to senior, you define the universe with math. So my point is that when I started in college, right, I went and I paid my semester, I paid tuition, and it was a little cheaper then, right? It's like $12,000 then or something like that, right? $12,000 a semester, something like that, right? So I paid the money, right? I went and got some books. I got all the books. I went to class, went to school. Man, I went to school every other time I was supposed to go to school, but I went to school, And at the end of my first semester, I went into the second semester. At the end of my first year, how much money did I make from my investment? Zero. None? Wow. So then I went to a second year, right? But I didn't have to pay for the second year because I already paid for the first year, right? No. I had to pay for a second year? Yeah. But I had already gone to all the classes the first year, so I didn't have to go to any more trainings or classes the second year, right? No. I had to go to classes too? Yeah. But certainly all the books that I paid for the first year, I can use those same books for the second year, and I didn't have to buy any more books. No, I had to buy some more books. Yeah. So at the end of my second year, I must have been making a fortune. No, I wasn't. I had to go back another year, a third year, but certainly the third year must have been free. It wasn't, but at least the tuition was the same it was the first 2 years. No, it went up. Oh my goodness. But I didn't have to buy any more books. But I didn't have to go to more classes. I did. So after my third year, I'm sure I was a millionaire now, right? No? Then I had to do it a fourth year, and some was a fifth year. But I'm sure as soon as I graduated from college, that job was guaranteed making $300,000 a year, right? No, it wasn't. I've been bamboozled. I've been hoodwinked. I've been had. I've been run amok. I've been scammed. Can you invest 8 to 10 hours a week in ACN for several years to put yourself in a position to make $50,000 to $60,000 a month?
Yes.
Have long-term thinking. You know, I used to have friends that come to me after a year and they say, "Are you rich yet?" You know, they, "Are you rich yet?" I'm like, "Are you sitting at your job? Why you do that to me?" At least I have an opportunity to be rich one day. You ain't even got an opportunity. Does that make sense? So guys, we get so caught up thinking we're supposed to be rich after a month at ACN.
Yes.
Have long-term thinking. It's about long-term thinking. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Is this making any sense?
Yes.
It makes sense to me. And never ever quit. Never ever. I never understood this. You will quit your own business and continue to go and work for somebody else for the rest of your life. You know where that ends. Statistically speaking, 97% of America, after working 40 years, they retire still dependent on their family, their friends, and the federal government. That is a fact. Here's another fact. Out of the 3% that are financially independent, 80% of them are self-employed. So if you want to be in the financial free part, do you want to follow the 97% that work for somebody else and be from broke, or you want to start your own business? Then if you go to the millionaire realm, when you look at the millionaires, 70% of millionaires are not from athletes or entertainers. It's from business owners. 10% lawyers and doctors. Another 4 or 5%, I think it was the 4 or 5% is salespeople, professional salespeople. And then guess what? All the entertainers and all the athletes make up less than 1% of all the millionaires on the planet. And I felt encouraged because I can't bounce a ball, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't do none of that. But I can join the 70% that start your own business. And everybody not inspired to be a millionaire, but if you do, won't you go and do the things that statistically speaking is the best path to get there?
Yes.
Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Never quit your own business to go work for somebody for the rest of your life. That makes no sense at all to me, okay? Now, when you have ups and downs, yes. As soon as you hear about ACN, you're going to leave here. I met a guy making, X amount of money, and he getting paid on 7,000 customers. I'm excited. I see it. Oh, my goodness, do you see it? Oh, yes, I see it. I want to go to the next meeting with you. The next meeting said, I'm going to go with you. Listen, you're going to get rich off of me alone. That's what your friend wants to tell you. And then they Google ACN. And they Google ACN. Some idiot that quit ACN sends a blog about how ACN didn't work. And your friend like, oh my goodness, this says right here. Here it says it right here. Michael Jones from Biblical Nowhere said that this doesn't work. I ain't going to that meeting with you. Does that make sense? Here's the thing. I remember when I was an engineer, there was somebody, I was sitting in his dorm room. His first semester, now you know the GPA is based on 4.0. He had a 0.7 GPA his first semester. I said, how do you get a 0.7? That's an accomplishment. You have to try to get a 0.7. Right? I said, you have no plans on graduating. He said, no, absolutely not. I'm having fun. I'm just going to leave, right? If you ask him or anybody else who dropped out of engineering, will they say, I dropped out of engineering, but it's fabulous? No, they will say, oh, engineering is this, the teachers were crazy, the professors were horrible, the school, they didn't teach me, I didn't learn. Isn't that right? Yeah. Yes or yes, right? So why do we ask people who dropped out of ACN their opinion about ACN? Right. ACN is a gym. So if you go to the gym and you don't exercise, you're going to come out the same way you went in. But if you go to the gym, you exercise, you're going to come out looking pretty good. Does that make sense? Yes. Do the work, you will have the results, all right? So don't have an emotional roller coaster. Then you talk to somebody else, they're like, I love it, they get started, you become an ETT, they become an ETT, and then all of a sudden they quit. Right, you down here. And the next person comes. And then they get promoted to executive team leader, they made $1,000 their first month in the business, they're doing really well, you made $2,000 off of their success, helping you be successful, and then all of a sudden, ACN changes the rate, and our rate for this month is higher than Con Edison. Oh my God, it ain't gonna work here. Our rate, how we ever gonna win? Right? Then all of a sudden the rate go back and you happy again. Here, look, don't have your highs be too high and your low be too low. That's called being bipolar. They got medicine for that. You want to be right here in the middle. Just keep the bar down. And the way you keep the bar down is you keep the bar down with your reason why. You keep the bar down with your reason why. You want to stay even keel and remember why you're doing this. See, if you're doing this for $200, then a $250 problem will knock you out the box. You got to have a reason why that's bigger than that. All right? Now I gotta keep moving. I gotta move faster. All right, I'm gonna wrap up because I know y'all got another meeting coming up, and I don't want to get interfere with that. But I get so excited. Because y'all are such incredible people, right? So here's the bottom line: the company is rock solid. We all have the same company, yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay. The service is rock solid. We all have the same service as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the difference? You. And I already told you, you were born to be unique. You were born victorious. You have already won. But you got to show up and go to work. So the only factor in the equation of success is you. If you do the work, you will have it. You just got to do the work. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Work on you, build you, and everything else will come into play. Now, events is the last thing I'm going to cover. Every single thing is event. That's how I built my business. Here's what my mentor told me. He said, Anwar, you don't have to be the best person in ACN. I said, I don't, because I was like, ooh, thank God, I don't have to be the best person. And I certainly wasn't the best person in school. You know, I didn't get all the A's, right? I wasn't the best person in sports. We already talked about that, right? Okay, so he said, you don't have to be the best person in ACN. He said, here's your job. You want to find the best people and get the best people in front of people that are better than you. If you can get good at finding the best people and getting people that are better than you, and getting them in front of people that are better than you, you can have some success. And so that's what I did. So everything is an event. Don't invite people to meetings. Events. See, if you invite people to meetings, everybody have meetings at work, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody want to go to no meeting. How many of you want to go to another meeting? Stop telling people I got a meeting, I got a meeting, I got a meeting. No, you got an event. See, when Beyonce, she don't have no meetings. She got events. Don't you want to go to Beyonce event? Look at it, he ready to leave me right now. So don't stop inviting people to meetings. So when everything is an event, a whole meeting. Listen, I'm having an event at my house. See that? An event is a one-time thing. Like right today, what's today's date? 18th. It's residual Saturday. I love this day. Right? I am in the world, I train on this day. This is when we get our residual direct deposit. It just, when you look at it, I start crying. Tear roll down. So, you know, and that's why I'm so excited. So forgive me if I'm excited. Okay. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so here's the thing. When you invite somebody to a home meeting, and today being August the 18th, right? Is today the first time that August 18, 2018 has ever occurred?
No.
It is. It's never occurred again, right? It never occurred before. It will never occur again. So isn't it unique?
Yes.
So when you invite someone to a home meeting or a training on that day, you say, listen, I don't know. All I know is we're having an event this Saturday. There has never been an event like this. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And there will never ever be another event like this.
Right.
Yes.
So you want to clear your schedule to be at that
Event.
as opposed to we have meetings every single Saturday. What Saturday works for you? And they look at their calendar and they say, how about December 2019? Events. Saturday trainings events. Leadership trainings events. A three-way call is an event. When I put someone on a three-way call, I'm not like, hey, I'm going to get you on the phone with this guy. I'm like, listen, I'm going to try to get a hold of him. My mentor, his name is Mr. Solomon. I don't even stutter, but I stutter when I'm talking to him. I don't know where he's going to be. In the world, he can be anywhere. When I get a hold of him, he's going to have like 2 minutes to talk to you. So drop what you're doing. Is that a TV in the background? Turn that down.
Right.
I'm going to try to get him on the phone with you. Did you see that?
Yes.
Now he's available anytime. When are you available? I'll make sure he gets on the phone with you. Make everything an event. So when you learn how to promote events and get people there, then the event will transform you. An event of all events is a national convention. And this is where I think, guys. You know, events build your business. Events build your belief. Events build you. See, until you go to a national convention, you're an ACN. But ACN is not in you. But when you go to a national convention, ACN is in you. Here's the biggest thing I want to tell you as we close up. Right? Here's the biggest thing I want to tell you. Every single one of us has an internal thermostat. Can you stay with me? Are you all right?
Yes.
All right. Every single one of us have an internal thermostat. And our internal thermostat sets our achievement level. So some of you believe you have a $130,000 achievement level. So guess what you make? You make $130,000. Some of you suggest, hey, I believe I can make $50,000. And what do you make? You make exactly what your internal belief system is consistent with. Right. And your internal belief system can't be consistent with your external circumstances. So if you believe that you can only make $50,000, even though you're saying out your mouth, I should be making $200,000, $300,000, $100,000, your internal belief system says, I'm at $50,000. So guess what happens? If you win the lottery, within 5 years, people who win the lottery are broke. Wow. 90% of them. Why? Because their internal belief system says, I'm worth 50,000. They win a lottery for a few million. But all of a sudden, their internal belief system kicks on the air conditioner and says, we're earning too much money. This is inconsistent. And it self-sabotages them. And in 5 years, they're right back down to where they were before they won the lottery. Now, conversely, the average millionaire goes bankrupt 3 times. Why? Because the millionaire's internal belief system is where? $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. But see, if something happens to their business and they're down to 60, 70, or even 100,000, what is their internal belief system saying? Their internal belief system is going crazy. They're like, we can't sit here at $100,000. So all of a sudden, their internal belief system kicks on the heat, and they're right back at $1 million. So we're all trying to do what we can do to change our external selves before we look at our internal realities. But if we can master the internal, and if we can raise the internal belief system and put our thermostat at 200,000 internally, anything else will be uncomfortable, and soon before you know it, the external will catch up with the internal. See, I started AC a little bit different from everyone else. Most people just started and they were just, they were making $60,000 a year. So when I started, I was already a millionaire when I started AC. It's just that my money was spread out in everybody else's pocket. I had to consolidate and put it where it belonged. Does that make sense? So when somebody asks me if I'm a millionaire, oh yes I am. My bank doesn't know it yet, but it knows. Is everybody with me? Yes. So when you go to a national convention, it builds your internal belief system. It transforms it. It snaps it. See, going into national, I was like, when I was going to national, I was like, if I make $50,000, $60,000 a year, I'll be good. But when I came to the national, I was snapped into knowing I was a millionaire. I knew it. Does that make sense? Yes. And then I just needed time and work ethic to catch up to it. Is everybody with me? Yes. You got to go to national. As we close out, I only need 2 more minutes. Raise your hand if I can get 2 minutes. Can I get 2 minutes? That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, 30 minutes. Okay, great. Appreciate that. I only asked for 2 minutes, y'all gave me 30. I love it. No, I'm going to wrap up. But here's what I want to tell you. This is very important. We have a national coming in Cleveland, Ohio. And that national is September 14th through the 16th. And I'm telling you, that national is not going to change you. It's going to transform you from the inside out. It's going to reset that internal thermostat. It's going to give you information that you need in order to win. It's going to give you motivation and inspiration. I remember when I saw this, I was like, I don't need no motivation. I'm already motivated. It's so much bigger than that. It's not about that. Does that make sense? Yes. Guys, I'm telling you, see, if you're saying, hey, I don't know if I can go to the national, I don't know if I have the money, it costs $159 to register for the national convention. $159. Now, you got to pay for the hotel and transportation and stuff to get there. You can drive to Cleveland. But aren't you worth $159? Yes. How many people are doing this for their parents? How many people are doing this for their children to have a better life? How many people are doing this to live in a better community? How many people are doing this for their spouses? How many people are doing this to vacation in the best places in the world? To be able to send their children to the best schools in the world? To be able to create opportunities for other people? To be able to give back to their community? To be able to do charity? Is anybody in this for this reason? Yes. So all those reasons are bigger than $159. You know the best investment you can make is in yourself? If I don't invest in me, then who will? Yes. If I don't believe in me, then who will? If I'm not worth $159, does that make sense? Right. Yes. This weekend, I sent my daughter to a seminar that cost me $700. Why? Isn't she a great investment? Yes. Yes. Shouldn't I pour into my children? Shouldn't you pour into yourself? True. And so, guys, if you're saying you want to be able to be financially free, and you're saying you want to be able to retire your parents and travel around the world and have the life and send your children to the best schools, my daughter just got accepted to Brown University in Rhode Island. It's a 7% acceptance rate. I posted and clicked accept. I didn't care how much the tuition was. If my daughter does all that work to put herself in a position to go to one of the best colleges on the planet, how can I deny her the right of that opportunity by saying we just don't have the money? How can I look her in the eyes and say, Daddy can't do it? So I want to put myself in a position that whatever they want to do, however I can pull into them, it was never a financial situation where I could. Brown is $70,000 a year tuition. We accepted it and she's going. Done deal. Does that make sense? Guys, this summer, I'm telling you, you got to have your reason why it's big. And sometimes satisfaction is delayed. Gratification is delayed. I started this business 21 years ago. I know I was 5 when I started. And it took us, and the decision I made before I had children, put us in a position that I can send my children wherever they want. I can invest in them. Does that make sense? This summer, we took 30 days. We took a whole month. I took all 3 of my children, my wife who hasn't worked in over 13 years, my parents, and we traveled all around Europe. We went to Switzerland and tasted the chocolate and the cheese in Switzerland. You know? Then we went down to France. We enjoyed the cafes in France. We went to the French Riviera. We dipped our toes in the French Riviera and swim in Nice. We made perfume in grass. You know, we went to where they do the International Film Festival. We actually almost was so close to the bulls during the Pamplona, the San Ferdinand Bull Run, we were actually able to almost touch the bulls as they ran past us. Then we went over to Rome and we saw, you know, figures and things that was older than the existence of our entire country over in Rome. We spent time in Venice, going through the gondola, and, you know, on the gondola in Venice, my 12-year-old saying it was a beautiful place to be. You know, we traveled all over the world. We went to Italy, Spain, France, Switzerland, all those places, and we seen that my children actually been to Egypt. We climbed the pyramids in Egypt, rolled on the camels, looked into the eyes of the Sphinx. When my daughter actually wrote her college education, when she wrote her essay to get into college, guess what she wrote about? She didn't write about Virginia Beach. She wrote about the transformational experience of being in Egypt and sitting in ancient antiquity and experiencing the touch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And she took that back and got into a school that most people can never get into. But how is it? I'm not bragging, I'm not being braggadocious because God is no respecter of person. My children are no better than your children. My family is no better than your family. But what it is I made a decision 20 years ago to go to a national convention because I knew that they were worth it. I knew that I was worth it. I knew the best investment I can make is in myself. So I'm telling you, at 70,000 customers later, that the key to your success is ACN. And the key to everything you want is this national. And you don't go. You are deciding that what you really say you want is not what you really want. So I'm going to help you. Get the family together. All your reasons why. Your spouse that you want to retire. Your parents that you want to help. You know, your children that you want to help. That charity that you want to help. Get them all together at the kitchen table. Get them together tonight. And tell them, listen, we don't have the money to go to the national convention. It's $159. I know that I told you that I was going to retire you. I know I told you we want a vacation in the best place in the world. I know I told you, child, that you're more important to me than anything. And you can have anything you want. And I can help you to have anything you want. And I know I said we're going to travel the world. And I know I said I was going to commit my time and dedication into doing the Lord's work or providing this charity. But here's the thing. I want to just be truthful. I'm broke, you broke, and we always want to be broke. Because I won't do what it takes for us to have the lifestyle that I said we want to have. So let's stop pretending. Because I'm saying I don't have the time or money to go and change your life. So let's stop pretending and we just always want to be broke. And let's be happy and be broke. Wow. Have that conversation if you're not going. Or you can have the conversation that I have with my family. Listen, we don't have the money to go to the national. I don't really have the time. I don't know how I'm going to get there. But here's the thing. I'm going to step out there on faith. See, faith is not when you see the road to where you're going. Faith is when you don't see the road and you take the step anyway and let the miracle of life finish the path. And so I got my family together and I told them, I said, hey, listen, I don't have the money. I don't know how we're going to get there. But because, honey, you're so important to me, and one day I want to be able to retire you. Because children, and they didn't have children at this point, but thinking internally as my parents, because, Mom, you're the one I want to retire. Or say to children, because children, you're the one I want to support and to give you the best life. I'm going to do whatever it takes to sacrifice because you are worth it. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So as we close, there was a gentleman that I spoke to. And he told me, and I told him everything I told you. And I was trying to get him to go to this event. And he said, I'm not going to this event. His girlfriend said, listen. His girlfriend said, here's the thing. You've been spending a lot of time doing this ACN thing. He's been doing ACN for all about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe the most. You spend all this time with ACN. 3, 4 weeks. Not even 40 hours a week, right? And your priorities are mixed up. And you need to spend more time with me. And so he was someone on my team, and his sponsor called me and said, hey, this guy's not coming, to the event. I told him, get him on the phone with me. I talked to this guy for 45 minutes, telling him about the vision, the reason why, unlocking everything. Nothing was working. I said, here's the thing. He said, yeah, I reprioritized. I'm spending too much time with ACN. I need to spend more time with, my girlfriend. And frankly, Anwar, my girlfriend looked better than you do. I said, here's the thing. Go to this event tomorrow, because this is the event of all events. It's going to transform your life. But here's the thing. Since nothing I can say is working, go to this event tomorrow. And then don't do ACM for 2 weeks. Take off for 3 weeks. Can you sell that to your girlfriend? He said, yes, I can sell that. So, hey, listen, Anwar said, I don't have to do anything for ACM for 3 weeks. So I just go to this event tomorrow. All right, go to the event tomorrow. Right? Here's what I know. He was out of the business. He was done. If he hadn't gone to that event, that was it. You never know the seed that's in somebody else. Sometimes you got to see more in them than they see in themselves. Sometimes you got to have enough belief for other people until they believe in themselves. Is that okay? Yeah. Pour the light in other people. And so we got him to go to the event. By lunchtime, he came up to me. He was like, oh my God, that was unbelievable. I can't believe what I just witnessed. He said, I have reprioritized again. I'm dumping my girlfriend. True story. By lunchtime. And I said, well, that's not exactly what I meant. But certainly, I want you to understand the value of what you got your hands on. Now, he said she's pulling me down. She's an anchor to winning myself. And God put me on a purpose before she did. And I realized all of a sudden I'm not on her purpose, I'm on God's purpose. And so for me to get to where I need to go, I need to pull off the baggage so that God can take me higher. And just like an eagle that's trying to get the little bugs off of them, to get the bugs off an eagle, they don't sit there and pick the bugs off of them. They fly to an altitude where the bugs will just fall off. Right. He said, I'm going to a new altitude and she can't go with me. And that gentleman became Mr. James Adlam, Senior Vice President, multi-millionaire in ACN. Wow. But here's the thing. What if I had not told him about the event? What if I had not been a stickler about really telling him that it will transform his life and being a stickler about the power of the event? So I'm telling you right now, I can look in every single one of your eyes and I already know that you already won. You already had a victory. The land is yours. All you got to do is possess it. But you got to possess it. You got to take the step. You got to step out there in faith. So I need everyone here to register for the National today. Everyone here. If you don't have the money not to go, if you don't have the money to go, you don't have the money not to go. You got to register at $159 because you know you're worth it, you're valuable, and your family is more valuable than anything else. It should go. Why pay your electricity over going to National? That makes no sense to me. Here's what I know. If you skip a bill, the bill's going to be waiting for you next month anyway. They'll save it up for you. It's like, if I skip a bill, it's going to be going there where I don't never have a chance to pay it. They'll store that bad boy up for you and be waiting for you when you come back. So go ahead to the National. If you really don't have the money, here's a way that 100% of everyone in here will have the money. Register for the National today, tonight, right now. I guarantee you the money's going to show up in your bank account tomorrow morning. How do I know that? Because you're going to call a friend. Take a bill money, take rent money, take something. Go rent to the National. Then call a friend and you say, listen, there's an unexpected expense that's going to hit my account on Monday. I need to be able to pay my electricity. I need to borrow $159 for it. You don't have to justify. You don't have to talk about National. No. You talking about your electricity. My electricity going to cut off. There's an unexpected bill hitting my expense. Isn't that unexpected? You didn't expect to go to that rest for National today. Unexpected bills will hit my account on Monday. I need $159 from you. Call 3 friends and borrow $50. If your ego is up here, your income will be down here. Bring your ego down. Do what you need to do to get there. Ask for help. Get there. And guess what? When you get wealthy, you can stoop right back down and pick your ego back up and have the money in it. Listen, guys, that's my time. They're never going to invite me back because I And you know what? It's residual Saturday and I don't care. All right? So all you want to do is get people that are better than you in these events. Don't just go to the event yourself. Bring a team of people with you. And I'm telling you, you won't be able to stop the momentum that's going to come to you, your family, and give you the life you deserve. You are worth the investment. Make the investment and go. So with that, God bless. Am I bringing anybody up? No. Great. So guys, next week, we're going to have an event of all events here on Saturday. Make sure you get a bunch of people here or you're going to miss out big time. There will never be another event like this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Make sure you get here with a whole team of people next Saturday. And I want you to see me personally if you register for the National. I need this registration to be taken care of today. Don't make excuses. Make it happen. Change your life. And if you get to the National, you say, Anwar, this was when I fought. It didn't, I didn't see anything that transformed me. It didn't change my life. Come up to me. I will give you 100% of your money back. Everything you spent to go to the National. In fact, I'll get it from James and I'll get it to you. But you gotta register today. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. Your reason why is waiting for you. Become who you were meant to be. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.